production. Okay. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Welcome. We're going to do a little true crime story time for y'all.
Yes, and today I am going to tell Nikita the story of Ruby Franke in the documentary Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Franke. She knows very little about this one.
Yeah, apparently I've been living under a rock, so here's what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know that she was abusive to her children.
Mm-hmm.
I know she was an influencer of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
I know she went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all I know. So I will be learning this in real time with you. Although I'm sure all of you already know. So
there's a lot
you can
more.
Watch me learn in real time.
Yeah, you guys are probably screaming like, oh my gosh, there's so much more.
I'm so sorry. Here we go.
We do have some trigger warnings, okay? We are going to talk about child abuse, cults.
There's a cult? Okay.
General, what in the effing F is happening?
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Ruby Franke was one of YouTube's most popular family vloggers, and she is now serving up to 30 years in prison for child abuse.
Shit, that's so many years.
So many years. For the first time, her family has agreed to give a detailed account of events. They have provided an archive of over 1,000 hours of unseen footage.
And if she was a vlogger, like, there's so much footage.
So much footage.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'm locked in. Let's do it.
So first of all, they are Mormon. All right. There's no getting around it. They are.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, most influencers are.
There's a clip in this documentary somewhere where one of the, I don't know what they call them, bishops, pastors, preachers, I don't know what they call them.
A church
deacon
official
guy. Yeah.
Okay.
He's preaching, I guess, and he's like, you guys need to be using social media, like to spread the gospel, to show your faith. Okay,
so this is like a call to action kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is, I think that is a big part of, because, I know Mormons they do their,
mission.
Yeah, their missions and all that kind of stuff. So, like, I think
this is kind of like that. They're
utilizing social media as almost like a mission, but to scale, you can reach more people and that kind of stuff.
Okay, got it.
So, Ruby's whole thing was motherhood was super important to her.
Okay.
She wanted to be seen as the perfect mother. She did not feel that she was getting enough recognition for being a good mother.
Okay.
Welcome to being a mother, Ruby. So, she didn't feel like she was getting enough praise or attention for her motherhood.
Okay.
So she started a YouTube channel and they named it 8 Passengers because the first video they uploaded was them cutting like a gender reveal cake or whatever, just their family, like it wasn't a big party or anything, to see what their 6th child was going to be.
Okay.
And so that was their last one, their little girl. And so that was their first video that they uploaded, or that may have been the first one that went viral.
Okay.
It was one of the earlier videos.
It was an early video.
Yeah,
though.
and all the kids were young. Chad would have been, he looked maybe like 8 or 9, something like that. I don't know, 10 at
little
tops. Yeah. So we talked to Sherry, and she refers to Ruby and Kevin as Ruby and Kevin.
Oh.
They're dead to her. Okay.
Sounds like it.
She does not call them mom and dad. Chad does. He refers to them as mom and dad, but she says Ruby this, Kevin that, whatever. When they first started doing the family vlog, when Ruby started that, it seemed fun. It seemed light. It seemed like whatever, it'd be, the kids are playing around. She said it was mostly her and Chad. They had like dances they would do, or they would, do fun stuff, whatever. At first, they had fun with it. It was fine.
Yeah.
Kevin said Ruby got to the point where she was filming literally everything. And so they show clips of like where she's sitting on the couch and she's like always up like it's like no matter what they're doing, she's got a camera in everybody's face. At first, he said it was like the camera was there and it was like we were interacting with each other, but the camera was there.
Yeah.
Then it got to the point where she wanted us to then interact with the camera, and she had lines she wanted us to say, and like
now it's a production.
Okay. And the kids even say, like, Sherry specifically says, our house felt like a set. She ended up replacing any warm light that we had with the bright white. Like, she was having the kids scrub the floors, the baseboards, the walls, like all the time. Like everything had to be perfect. So it definitely changed from like this is fun and whatever, which seems to be the thing with the family vlogging. Like, it becomes a whole thing. So they start posting videos. They're not making a ton of money, but they get their first check-in, he says, and it's $85. And they were like, oh, we're on to something here. So they make a company called 8 Passengers LLC. The name of the channel is 8 Passengers. Sherry says all the kids were referred to as employees, and Ruby was the CEO. And she had this like bubbly personality. People seemed to really connect with her.
With Ruby?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not my cup of tea.
All right. I mean, I don't know anything about her, so okay.
She was just like, it was a lot of, well, okay. She also did a lot of really religious-y kind of stuff too. Maybe if you share the same faith as her, you might connect with her. I don't know. I personally don't connect with her. She seemed very uppity to me and like, this is what I do for my children because I know that they blah, blah, and like for whatever reason.
Well, if you don't like her, I don't like her.
Exactly. And we don't like her.
Okay. We don't like her.
We don't like her.
Decided.
So Chad said he knew pretty early on that a lot of people, he was the fan favorite and Kevin calls him the fan favorite too. So Chad is growing up before everybody's eyes. So now he's like 16, 17. He's a football player. Yeah. He's blonde hair. Maybe blue-eyed. I don't know. He looks like that.
An all-American boy.
Mm-hmm, he looks like he could be a lifeguard, which later he does become a lifeguard. So like, and Ruby knew that we needed a comedic relief and she knew it was him and she exploited that. And the producer goes, did you exploit it too though? And he was like, yes, I did.
So he's somewhat self-aware, but also not.
Somewhat. It feels like he doesn't get that far until the producer pushes back on him because he will put a lot of it on Ruby, which a lot of it is on Ruby. Okay. But to be like, and Ruby exploited that. Like, you were filming a lot of these videos, dude. Like, if she's in front of the camera, you were filming it. Yeah. Okay. So, and his response is absolutely I did, but it's just like, okay. So then he says they, from the $85 they made, then it was like $2,000 a month, $8,000 a month, $20,000 a month, and the most they ever made, their peak was $200,000 a month.
That's insane.
They got so big that on Mother's Day one year, YouTube, when they did their Happy Mother's Day post, they used a picture of Ruby and her kids and like wished YouTube, Mr. YouTube himself said, hey, Ruby, happy Mother's Day. Fuck my own mom. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Damn.
Like, that's pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
Kevin says he thought they were sharing goodness and Christianity with the world and that God was blessing them for it. They thought that this was what they were supposed to do.
What they're sowing, and they're sowing good things.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. If you cut one more thing in my house,
we're chopping its head off.
I'm going to take the scissors, look at me, and I'm going to cut its head off.
Grandma will be so mad!
There's one video where they're filming and the kids are like, she's like, smile, even if you don't want to, smile, fake it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, I don't want to be filming this. I don't want to have to do everything in front of the camera. Like, can't we just have anything, whatever?
Fake being happy. Okay? I don't know if I can right now.
Yeah, they don't want to record. And there's one video where they're like, we're doing this for work. Do you not appreciate what we're doing for you? And like all this stuff. And then Ruby's like, do you not want to make $10 per video? Because if you help, you get $10 per video. And I'm like,
okay. So child labor laws too. All right. All right.
Which I do remember watching the documentary Child Star and Demi Lovato like hosted kind of or whatever. But they talk about how, when you're a child actor, there are the child labor laws and the Coogan laws and all of that kind of stuff. But family vlogging gets around that.
Oh.
So Sherry now is an activist for family vlog. Okay. Like she lobbies for more laws.
Yeah. On that. Because that can be super successful.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to say, like, we have friends whose kids are child actors and they live in California, but they have the whole, like, they have to do we don't talk about like how much money their kids make or anything, but they have said before, like, their kids have to have special accounts and, like, so much of what they earn has to go into that account that the parents can't touch.
Exactly.
And so they only get, like, they get something immediately, but they don't get all of it because of the whole, like, Macaulay Culkin thing, I think is what it was. Wasn't it Macaulay Culkin? His parents spent all of his money or whatever.
A lot of them, yeah. Sure. I think Shirley Temple was that way.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've talked about that before, how, like, their kids, they have the trust or whatever that's set up, and then they only get a certain amount of it anyway.
Yeah.
And then they let them pick out one thing per paycheck, basically, and then they put the rest of it in a regular savings for them too. But, like, obviously they're responsible parents.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, vlogging, I didn't even think about that
it gets around
being considered part of that.
because it's not because you're not, like, going
well, because
to
you're not
set,
under a contract. You're not.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they get $10 a video if they participate the way she wants them to, and blah, blah, blah.
Gotta earn that lunch money, I guess.
Well, yeah, and that's part of it too. So,
okay.
So Chad gets older. He does not want to film anymore. He wants to go hang out with his friends. He wants to do freaking kid stuff, like whatever. Ruby cannot deal with this.
Also, he's a 16-year-old boy. Like,
he doesn't care about.
He doesn't care,
this.
and he wants, like, I would be horrified if my parents made me talk about that online, and then, like, all of my friends could see it.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like,
kids are relentless. Like, this is not the time or place.
Exactly. So he said at that time he would, like, purposefully say the wrong lines. He's like, just to make her mad. Like, I would purposefully try to make things harder on her. And he was like, I don't know why, but I hated it. I didn't want to listen to adults. I didn't want to be told what to do.
Rebellious.
So he started rebelling at school too. He wouldn't listen to adults there. He got expelled. She blogged all about that. Chad got expelled. I didn't know what to do. Blah, 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 blah.
Woe is me.
So then she wanted to get him into therapy, and she started posting about that.
Okay.
And her friend, Paige Hannah, who has to feel real bad, said, oh my gosh, I know exactly who you should take him to.
Oh no.
There's this woman, Jodie Hildebrandt, and she's the best. And you should send Chad to her for therapy. And Ruby's like, great. And Paige was like, I just thought she was, like, a straight shooter, and, like, she would tell you what you needed to hear, and, like, blah, blah, blah.
So, like, she really thought that she was helping.
Yes, she did. And she genuinely thought that Jody was a good therapist and like all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. So Kevin says Ruby falls in love with everything that she learns about Jody, the way that she does her practice, the way that she talks to people. She will, like, she'll hold you accountable. She'll hold your feet to the fire. She blah, blah, blah. So Chad's like, we have our first session, and she's like, Chad, are you ready to, you know, live a humble life and, you know, take accountability and, like, do what you need to do and blah, blah, blah. And Chad's like, absolutely, I totally am. And she was like, you're a liar. You're lying.
Oh.
And he was like,
okay.
How did you know that? Like,
all right.
How did you know? And he said he looks over at Ruby and she's smirking and she's like, this lady knows what's up. She sees what we're dealing with, kind of thing, or whatever.
Yeah. She knows you're a problem.
Exactly. So Ruby was, like, hooked from then on. And Kevin was like, that was what we did. So Jody tells them, look, Chad's running circles around you. Okay. He knows what he's doing. He's manipulating you. You have to make him feel pain. Because if he doesn't feel the pain of whatever consequence you're giving him, it's not going to work. Like, you've got to, I guess, like, assert your dominance or whatever.
Okay.
So Chad says they took everything away from me. He was not allowed any electronics anymore at all.
Okay.
No sports anymore. He couldn't even play, like, for his school teams or anything like that.
Okay.
And they sent him to a wilderness camp.
Oh, boy.
That's the last we hear about the wilderness camp, but what we know about wilderness
what
camps,
I would like to do is unpack that.
Yeah, because that could not have been good.
No.
And Chad says Ruby was doing everything to fix him, and he was like, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It was for her. Yeah, it was for her image or whatever. So when he got back from the wilderness camp, she said, here are your options. We're taking your bedroom away. We don't think that you you've lost your privilege, basically.
Okay.
You can sleep on the couch.
Okay.
Or, well, I don't know on the couch, in the living room. It may have been on the floor. Or you can sleep in the basement on a beanbag. Don't want any privacy whatsoever, you'll have to go to the basement. He chose that. They left him in there for 7 months. He had no bed. He had no actual room. It was a basement with a beanbag in it.
That's it.
7 months.
Wild.
She tells him, this is your last chance. If you mess up anymore, we're sending you to a military camp.
That's insane.
Jody's on board with it. And if Jody's on board with it, his parents are going to be on board with it, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, that terrified me. So I was like, okay, I just got to get through this. Like, whatever. Yeah. So he starts seeing Jody all the time. It was like he ramped up his therapy with her. She said he needed more, all of that kind of stuff. And it seemed like Chad was fixed. Like they said, he was polite. He wasn't complaining. He was, whatever.
Perfect little angel.
And so finally, they decide to give him his bedroom back. And Ruby does a video. And she's like, we take things away from our children when they deserve it and when they have shown that they cannot manage it, that they're not mature enough to manage it. And so she's sitting there next to Chad and she's like, have I ever taken anything away from you? And she's like, and we don't just give it right back. Have I ever taken anything away from you and given it back before 6 months? And he was like, no, I had my bedroom taken away and I've been sleeping on a beanbag for the last 7 months. And she goes,
weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
you've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October.
And he was like, oh, this is not a live stream. She still posts it. And people immediately are like,
damn, girl.
That's abusive. Like, what are you doing? So,
why didn't she cut that out?
Exactly. So Kevin,
thank God she didn't, but like.
Exactly. So Kevin says all hell breaks loose. People start flipping out or whatever. And so she takes the video down, but it's already out there.
Yeah.
So like now other creators are starting to make videos where now that flagged everybody. Because I think there were things that were happening that people were like,
that doesn't look right.
But then they hear that and they're like, let's go. Kind of like with that Nurse Hannah thing where it was like kind of the one thing that everybody looks at all the other stuff. So creators start making videos about this. And Kevin says, we were 100% positive that we were this innocent religious family, that we were trying to spread the gospel.
Oh my God.
And that Satan was attacking us, that we were being attacked by cancel culture for doing something good. Like we did nothing wrong and people were coming for us.
This is my beef when people take a religious stance on things like that. Is they're like, oh, this is the devil working. Couldn't be me. Like, no, it's you. It is you.
Yeah, like 100%. I mean,
ugh.
Chad says Ruby was getting worse. Like she would blow up off camera. She would beat him with a belt. She would beat him pretty bad. Sherry says, I always felt really bad for Chad when he would get in trouble. I would clean up his blood when he got beat. She said there was one time where she had to wipe blood off the walls.
I can't imagine doing that to my children.
No.
Like.
And for what?
Exactly.
Like, it just. So, at this point, they're like, okay, this is getting really bad. And it's escalating.
Yeah.
Like, it is definitely escalating. And.
Well, you were right. I do hate her.
So, yeah. So, she changes her channel name, 8 Passengers, to Moms of Truth.
I've heard of this.
Oh.
I feel like.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't good.
It's not good. No.
Okay.
No. So now she's kind of like in business with Jody. And they said that in March of 2020, COVID happened. There was a 5.8 earthquake in Salt Lake City. They thought that this was the end of the world. Okay. And so they start doing like emergency prepping because they believed that Christ was coming back and the world was ending. And this is going to be the second coming of Christ. And they were preparing for it. And Ruby believed that she and Jody were combined together to do God's will in the world before the second coming of Jesus.
Okay. Is this a Mormon thing? Because I've seen other Mormon influencers who are basically doomsday preppers. They're like, anytime now it could happen. And they'll buy like buckets and like every family member's got a backpack and they have like a bunker.
Yes. They had a bunker. Jody had a bunker. Like, yeah.
Is that I mean,
I guess.
It's not exclusive to Mormons, I guess.
No.
I just have seen it more than once from a Mormon influencer. And so I'm curious if that's like...
It seems to be, because I know that the Mormons are the ones who believe the like 144,000 that are going to, because that was like Lori Vallow's thing. She believed that she was the one that like the one of the 144 that like...
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And they started to believe that Jody was a direct pipeline from God.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That like Jody spoke for God. That if you were going to get close to God, you had to get close to Jody. That Jody was your God, essentially. And at one point, Jody calls Ruby and Kevin's like, she's sobbing. She's freaking out. Essentially, she's decided that her house is like haunted. Satan is taking over her house because she is so close to God or so holy or whatever that Satan is attacking her specifically.
Okay.
And Kevin's like, I believe that 100%. We go to her house. He's like, she's telling us there's all kind of things that nobody can explain. We're hearing loud crashes in the basement, but there's nothing down there. He said at one point, I see on the glass this giant handprint. The fingers are just really long. Like nothing could explain that. And the producer's like, do you have a picture of that handprint? Yes, I do. I have a picture. And he shows it and it looks like a smudge, like a foot smudge. It doesn't look like fingers to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing it. He believed that Satan was trying to attack her, and she kept having bishops from the church come and bless her house. And the bishop was like, listen, I can't be coming out here all the time. I got a job. Okay. So like we got to figure something else out at this point because my blessings aren't doing it.
Also, if the blessing isn't working, and if I told my husband, listen, this house is haunted. I'm so close to the Lord. The devil is attacking me personally. He would probably have me committed.
Yes.
He would be like, she's losing it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the end.
Yes. Not the Frankies.
Okay.
They were all in. So Jody says, come live with us. The devil won't attack you there. And at least if he does, we'll be there to help you. We can pray over you. We can bless you. We can exorcise the demons out of you.
Right.
So she goes to live with them. So apparently they get home and Sherry, who lives there still, she's like, I'm sitting there. I have no idea anything's coming. And they're like, you have 2 hours to get out of your room. Jody's moving into it. And she's like, or maybe 1 hour or something. And she was like, I was moving.
What now?
Yeah. She was like, I was moving for college in 2 weeks anyway. So like, it wasn't a huge deal, but also like, what? Like, came out of nowhere. She's like, I thought it was super weird.
Yeah.
For my parents' therapist to move into their house. And we were also told we couldn't tell anybody that she lived with us. Sherry starts looking into this and she learns that Jody is not actually a psychologist. She had really bad reviews online for her stuff. People are like,
she just Googled her. Oh wait, this is Sherry,
the daughter. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I was like,
yeah. Well, and so Sherry's like, I told Ruby and Kevin, this is what's happening. She's lost her license. She's not listed as an LDS referred person anymore. Like there's something going on.
Yeah.
And Kevin was like, we shut her down so fast. Jody had told us when we started working with her, if you look up, if you look me up, you're going to see some of these things. Those are just clients that were unhappy because they didn't do the work and they didn't want to have to pay for it or whatever. So like, it's just lies. Like you'll see it, but it's not true. So they knew that was coming.
And they were prepared.
Yeah. And they were like, well, we already knew that.
Okay. And we'll pause it there and pick it up next time. Because we can't do anything in one part.
We absolutely cannot. And this is going to get crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I won't look at anything else about it so I can continue to be surprised because I'm already like, what the?
And it has not.
We haven't even gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Well,
we'll catch you next time.
Next time. You'll watch me find out more.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.